What's going on, everybody? Welcome inside Slightly Relatable.
We did it. Even though we doubted and hated all the way, we're going to hear it. We're going to jump in at the end and take credit.
What a week to be alive. What a week to be from Philadelphia. Philadelphia Eagles just coming off winning their second Super Bowl. They beat the fucking piss out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Couldn't be happier. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift hopefully on the brink of breaking up.
Dude, we took the Chiefs behind the shed like they were Adrian Peterson's son, and it was just a total destruction.
Mm-hmm. Took that switch and beat the shit out of them with it.
Belt to ass.
Yes. Jalen Carter almost took Patrick Mahomes' head off.
Almost.
Which typically would be a flag, but in this case it was not.
We figured out how to get past the refs not calling holding calls. You just have
it's called domination
on the line that are so powerful that they can pick up offensive linemen and beat the shit out of Mahomes with them like a club, and that's what Jalen Carter does.
Yeah, it was 4-on-6 the whole night, but their offensive line got absolutely shredded.
Yeah.
By the way, Josh Sweat actually said he came out and said that he should have been the MVP. I don't know if you saw that.
He said he should have been.
He said he should have been the MVP.
He gone.
If
anybody was a big payday, he's gone.
And I said if anybody should be the MVP, if you want to give it to on defense,
Coop.
Either Coop or Jalen Carter, who had to take on two people every single time, so you guys could open it up and go get
Jalen
sacks.
Carter just opens it up for everyone else, and people that aren't paying attention are just going to think, oh, he had no stats. The guy is like a nuclear, it's like a Hiroshima bomb on the line every single down.
I'm starting to think Jalen Carter might be the best player on the Philadelphia Eagles. Honestly.
Outside Saquon.
Yeah,
but Saquon's only as good as he is because of the line.
Correct.
Jalen Carter by himself makes the entire defense better. Nobody looks as good as Jalen Carter does with only tackles in the stat sheet.
Yeah,
That's all he registered were tackles.
I know, and I think I'm serious. I think Jalen Carter is the best player on the Eagles. I think just on a domination standpoint and most destructive standpoint,
individually, yeah. He definitely is the best player.
It's kind of like in the 90s, too. Like Clyde Simmons had a couple really good years.
Yeah.
And then he went to Arizona and was shit. But he got a huge contract because on the other side of him was Reggie White, who took on two people every single time.
Yeah.
And Jerome Brown. So it's like, these guys were able to eat because of Jalen Carter.
Okay, so this is my message to all Philadelphia fans. I'm including myself. I'm about to put us on blast because it's a two-way street. We're allowed to be the biggest haters of all time and shit on everyone. But when they win, the loyalty's got to come through. We got some receipts. We have some apologies. So first of all, with Jalen Hurts, MVP, when you look at the totality of what he's done, 2 Super Bowl appearances, the one was just real close. And when you look at all the bullshit with the field, this really makes it feel better. So we're Philadelphia. We talk shit on everyone. So Jalen Hurts is drafted immediately like, this is bullshit. Our Wentz is the future. So shut the fuck up. We were wrong there. Then we were doing all these stupid gadget plays. Then people, myself included, were not sold on Hurts. He wasn't. The dude is a winner. No matter where he goes, he stays humble. Everyone takes a giant shit on him and says, oh, he can't do this. He can't make this throw, that throw. He just is quiet. He's like a made in a lab but by coaches' sons. It was like a Saban put a cybernetic brain of just say the right bullshit. He clearly hates the media, yet he just does it because he needs it. You got to get it. He has these stupid folksy sayings, but who gives a shit? It fucking works. So Jalen Hurts went from, I don't know, we shouldn't even draft him, to is he the starter? Should we bench him? To Super Bowl MVP. And it's the second elite performance, 1-1 against Mahomes. And we have to apologize to Sirianni. We all wanted him dead. We all wanted to kill him because he's so annoying, but we should have realized it's like a WIP caller became coach. So we should be thankful that we have someone that is the avatar of Philadelphia, scumbag. But a scumbag we should cheer for. So we need to apologize to Sirianni and Hurts post-haste. They fucking, when the collapse came, I was like, get rid of Sirianni. When you put up the hardware, he's got 5 years and we can't say shit. And that's my message to Philadelphia faithful. Loyalty is earned. It's a two-way street. They delivered, so we need to shut the fuck up and just bow down.
At this point, yeah. I think when they win, you get 5 years. You get 5 years to do whatever you. If the Eagles fucking won 3 games over the next 3 years, I'd still be like, all right, well, we have 2 Super Bowl rings.
I still feel
now.
bad that we fired Doug Peterson. Now it all worked out, and I guess Press Taylor had blackmail material on him. I don't know, but either way, someone delivers you a Super Bowl after years of us never winning that shit. And this is the other thing. The first Super Bowl was fucking magical, and I have to say at this point, we have to say with Hurts, If you look at it, he is the best Philadelphia quarterback in history. Now, Foles will always be number one in my heart, but Foles is like a folk hero. He's like a Paul Bunyan kind of guy. It's like we drafted him like, what? Chip Kelly, 2013, the best season ever. We got rid of him for Sam Glassford. He ended up back here, and then we thought our season was over. He won. That season was so magical and amazing. Hurts is a franchise quarterback that's been to one Super Bowl, barely lost, and beat the piss out of Patrick Mahomes. So at this point, McNabb, Randall Cunningham, sorry, you're all backseat to Jalen. There's really no contest.
See, the Cunningham one is always tough for me to backseat because Cunningham never had a team anywhere similar to what, like, if you put Cunningham in this offense, it would be really interesting to see. Because Cunningham, on a natural standpoint of talent, is probably the greatest talent the Eagles have ever had.
Cunningham in the modern era would
Cunningham
be
in this
insane.
offense would be the MVP of the league.
But
He's that good at throwing the ball, that good at running.
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
I don't know.
As great as he
and
is,
if my aunt
and the
had
talent,
a penis, she'd be my uncle. So it's
not,
like,
not
you know,
anymore,
what
not
do you
anymore.
do?
But
The
fact,
I gotta put that parody thing
parody.
in there.
Fact of the matter remains. It's what did you get done? Who delivered? A lot of talk with McNabb, they didn't win. A lot of talk with Cunningham, great player, but he never delivered for us.
Yeah.
Hurts delivered. So everyone needs to shut the fuck up. The guy, and I was saying with Dan, it's like he can make every throw. I just don't know psychologically what's going on. It's like he's annoyed whenever he does have to throw. It's like, fine. And he just throws a fucking like dagger bomb to Smitty. And I just have to say, so the other person we have to thank, although most of you got wise, the fucking dictator for life, Howie Roseman, the man is a fucking genius. He's completely destroying these GMs across the league. If they see a 215, a 267 number, they need to just fucking block that shit. Because he's going to just take your entire team. The guy's been hitting on all the draft. We're developing all these young guys on both trenches.
But it wasn't always like that with him.
He had to learn. He had to learn the hard
It was
way.
like Jalen. Like, he struggled for a few years. We remember, I don't forget the Jalen Rager's draft when there was Justin Jefferson there and Nelson Aguilar's of the world. Nelson Aguilar had a good Super Bowl.
Watkins, too.
Yeah, Watkins. So
yeah, this doesn't happen if we keep drafting Jalen Rager's out there. So Howie stepped his game all the way fucking up.
Yep.
And he's only drafting like fucking Hall of Fame level players. And then the other thing we have to
he
say,
smartened up and just started drafting SEC talent. Like, he looked at that Georgia
Defense line, Howie. Offense line, defense line.
And they're going to go offensive line probably again in this draft.
Just draft any SEC line starter that weighs over 300 pounds. It's like always going to work.
Yeah, and the famous, remember the awkward fist bump from Howie in the draft room? That, you know who the drafted player there was? Milton Williams.
Yeah.
One of the scouts was not so happy with that one. Milton Williams right now is about to get paid by another team, granted, but still about to get paid.
He's probably
going to
go, isn't he? He's probably one of the guys who are going to lose, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately.
I don't feel bad about any losses on the offensive or defensive line because we've proven we've actually, remember the quarterback factory? Well, we actually are the lineman factory, so we can replace all those losses.
Yeah.
We got to lock up Bond because linebackers don't grow on trees with our system.
Yeah. No, I mean, Bond definitely.
So Bond is interesting. Question, though, if you guys had to pick, because I think we'll only be able to afford to pay one of them, Sweat or Bond if you had to pick.
Bond.
Yeah,
Bond.
I think it's Bond.
I go
Sweat's
Bond
great,
because
but he's just not going to be worth the money.
You also
he's
have more
gonna
depth
command.
there.
I do. I think you have more depth, especially with the younger guys. Nolan Smith's developed more. Obviously, Carter. Jordan Davis has come along. And now you have Jalix Hunt, who's Jalix Hunt is very underrated. But you talk about the two stars at corner.
Yeah.
But Jalix Hunt should be mentioned with those guys because he's really developed very well, and he's only going to get better. And then you have the draft, and Howie now has become a lot better at drafting. Who's not to say he doesn't get the best defensive player on the line in the first round. I don't think he will. I think they're going to go offensive line if they do pick with that pick. I do think offensive line's probably where they'll go, or linebacker. I could see them taking a linebacker too, depending on what happens with Bond. I saw them taking the last mock draft I saw was them taking the linebacker from Alabama. I don't know his name, but if he's coming out of Alabama, I can probably trust there's some kind of pedigree there. But I want the offensive lineman from Ohio State. They're going to take anybody. I think you'd start. I
think offensive line makes
Lane
the most sense.
is coming back next year. He's already said he's coming back, but I do think next year will be Lane's last year. I just have that feeling. I think he sees how good the team is. He wants to run it back. Will Brandon Graham be back next year? Can they get him on some kind of contract?
I wish, but I think he's going to ride out in the sunset with that.
He looked good in the Super Bowl.
He looked 10 years younger than he was. He
got in on 15 snaps, but
the plays he did get in on, he made an impact. He got held on the one play.
He did.
I think he was held on like both of his plays.
If he'll come back cheap, it's great to have a vet.
He got a holding call.
He got the call, yeah. The guy grabbed his face mask and held him.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter's held on every play I see him.
It was the one where Mahomes had to
and
zigzag
Brandon
between
Graham
the
missed a
entire
horrible
defense.
tackle. I don't know if you saw it.
Barely got past the first
Graham
down
missed a
marker.
tackle on that play too.
Yeah.
He had a chance.
I just like the parallel in like the previous Super Bowl against Mahomes. Mahomes is pointing out the holding on Bradbury, and then Graham gets the first down, and Graham goes, "That was a holding, bro. Bring that shit back."
Yep. No, it's
sorry the refs couldn't bail you pussies out.
It's such a good feeling that we kicked the shit out of that team.
Yeah.
Because you never see that with that team. The last time you saw it was in the Super Bowl when they played Tampa. That they really got their asses
kicked. And just
kicked.
top to bottom, look at this fucking Eagles team, and this is why like Howie Roseman. If you have to put credit on one person, I mean, it's a team, you can't. But if you had to, I think it would have to be Howie. So, like, best offensive line in the league, probably the best defensive line in the league, probably the best secondary in the league, top 5 linebacker core in the league, top 3 receiving core in the league, top 5 quarterback, and there's undeniable now. It hurts haters, myself, that used to be one of them.
Maybe the best coach in the league.
I love that you remember that you were a Hurts hater because
this
I
is the
never let
thing.
you
You
live
have
that
to-
shit
Hurts
down.
hater
We
too.
talk
I-
shit. We talk shit in Philly nonstop.
Yeah.
It comes with the but once
Yeah.
if they put up, we shut up. Now, don't get me wrong. If we go into the half when our home opener and we're down like 13-0, that'll be enough for people to start booing. It doesn't buy that much loyalty.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, look, we talked so much shit about Sirianni. He acted like such a douchebag, but the W, he could be Hitler. Who cares? Like he could be starting the Fourth Reich. If he delivers us Super Bowls, most Eagles fans are not going to care, and that's all that matters. So yeah, he's a
Nick
douche.
Berlusconi.
So are we. He's the douche we all wish we were.
Miles Garrett's in play too.
He
for a
is.
trade.
This is the interesting part, right? So like we have some. So BG probably retires. I think that's probably the best for him. If he comes back for a year, I'll be so happy for him. But like trying to kind of project next year's roster, BG probably retires. I think you probably get Slay off the cap because we saw what the drop off was with Bradbury. When you lose a step at corner, it's a big drop off.
Yeah.
And Slay has alluded to it already in this playoff run that it's probably going to be his last year with us. So I think when you get those 2 contracts off the books, some other guys, Milton, Williams, the other guys that we're probably not going to bring back, you do have some flexibility to go get Myles Garrett if you really want to. Now you're probably going to be ending up picking between Garrett and Bond if it's Bond over Sweat. So what's the decision there? I mean, Garrett is a DPOY, but Bond was also like runner up this year. So like,
and who plays more
if you had to pick? Because you have to give up stuff for Garrett, so it's not as easy as that.
But what do you think you're giving up for Garrett? Is it draft picks? Is it
Draft capital.
Yeah.
But the
I
thing
mean, would
is,
you
it's
give
like,
up a first for Myles Garrett? If that's
I'd
what
give
you're
up
trading.
2. I'd give up 2 firsts. I think
give up
the
one.
Browns probably ask for more.
I'd give up 1. I wouldn't give up 2.
I think the Browns probably ask for more
But
than 2
here's the
firsts.
thing. I mean, one, Howie's a wizard, so we'll see what he
True.
can cook up. But
True.
2,
But is he-
won't they not ask for that much? Because whoever they trade him to is going to have to work out a new long-term deal
Yeah,
with the
so-
guy. So we might be able to, like, could you imagine
that's
us
part
getting
of
him
it.
for, like, a second or a third?
That's part of it. There's multiple things to that, right? So Garrett's going to want a new deal. The other thing he said about the new deal is that he's willing to restructure his contract so that it's friendly to whichever team he goes to because he knows he wants to go to a contender. He knows that if he's paid too much on a contender, they can't build a team around him. The other thing is he doesn't have any control over where he gets traded to. He doesn't have a no trade clause, so that means any trade that's made, he can't deny. He could just say, like, well, I'm not going to sign with that team, and if that is enough leverage for the team to back out of it, then great for us. But otherwise, it's a complicated situation with Garrett if we want to go for him.
You know Washington's going to want him too.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Washington.
hearing. And Washington
yeah.
has a lot of money
Yeah.
to spend.
They do.
So
They have a lot of cap space.
they have $70 million in
Yeah.
cap
It's
space.
amazing
So
when
it's
you
like
just get
they're
rid of
gonna
Dan
want-
Snyder, like, everything turns around.
I
That
don't
guy,
know
that guy was like the Hitler of the NFL. I looked up his story. Do you know that he bought a mansion on the Potomac River in D.C. and it was like a federally protected like forest of like old growth trees, and he's like, it ruins my view of the river. So he cut down like 200 trees. And park rangers like, you can't do that, right? He gets the guy fired. He like uses his fixers to say the guy was stealing and shit. It was like a huge lawsuit that came out, tried to ruin a park ranger's life for saying, "Hey, don't cut down trees." That would be
park
like the
ranger
one.
should've shut the fuck
That
up.
would be like the one park ranger job you would hope. The guy who allowed it is named the National Parks Director.
Yeah, Dan Snyder, ultimate piece of shit. This does not surprise me at all. But no, I mean, it's fun to say that this wouldn't have happened. That the Commanders team wouldn't have been assembled the way it is now if Dan Snyder was still owner. But like in reality,
I mean, he puts him a lot of
a franchise changing level talent at quarterback, they don't come every year. They ended up getting one. I don't think they still would have been picking second if Dan was around.
His negative aura would have prevented it from happening somehow. Someone would have like torn an ACL somehow because he's just that. The best way to sum up Dan Snyder is the fans there, and then like the sewage shit pipe just starts leaking on them.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. I think Jaden Daniels is good. I think he's getting a little too much hype. I think that's just my opinion. I do think he's good.
He's going to end up like the Texas guy if he doesn't back it up the second year.
How do you think he compares to the other rookie that is probably the runner-up? Bo Nix.
Bo Nix?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Nix had a good year. I think they both had good years, and I'm not saying I don't think Jaden Daniels is good. I need to see more from him.
Sure. I mean, we saw this from RG3, and then he dropped off almost immediately. A lot of it due to injury, but
correct. And he had a very bad injury,
and not a great team around him either.
No, and a dickhead coach that he did not like. So,
better situation for Jaden Daniels.
Correct. Yeah. No, I think he's got a good coach. I do think. Yeah. What's his name? Schmidt. Dan Smith.
No. Well, that's the head coach. But he's got Kingsbury running his offense.
Yeah.
Everyone hates Kingsbury. I mean, his offenses are always pretty.
I don't think they hate him.
They're not bad.
He's just a goofball.
They were pretty bad in Arizona.
All right,
but his team was pretty bad.
Yeah,
his team was pretty bad.
Aside from flaws in his record is flawless. So it's just...
You coached Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, sure did.
But where was I going with this? But think about this too. We were talking about the quarterback. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to really think of Daniels. I got to see more from him. I think they lucked out.
He's not a Super Bowl winner.
They lucked out. They lucked out playing the Lions as beat up as they were. The Lions at full, I think that would have been your Super Bowl, to be honest. I think the Lions at full go and the Eagles would have been your Super Bowl because I think the Lions could have beat Kansas City too if they were fully healthy. The
first Super Bowl with Nick Foles is our magical one with the best play ever, and we will never forget it. But this number 2, this is like we're serious business. Now we have 2 rings. We don't just have one fluke ring, even though that wasn't a fluke one.
No, this Eagles team is one of the, we were talking about when we were coming here, Ken. In the last 25 years, where does this Eagles team rank?
Of like all Super Bowl contenders?
Of all Super Bowl winners. No, we'll talk Super Bowl winners the last 25. You say number 1.
Yeah.
You do say number 1.
Name a weakness in the team.
Well, they don't have any, but
Hurts isn't good enough.
No, I mean, they don't have any.
Jason Kelsey pointed out all the weaknesses in the last one.
He's got anxiety.
Brandon Brooks has anxiety.
Lane can't stay off the juice.
Yeah. No, they don't. They don't have any weaknesses.
Some clown named Nick Wright.
They don't have any. They don't have any weaknesses.
Maybe their weakness is that they don't have weaknesses.
I mean, the McNabb teams are the only ones that you can kind of compare, I think, to the same level. But even like guys like Chris.
No, I'm talking all teams that have won the Super Bowl.
That have won.
You're talking about last 25 Super Bowl winners.
No. Yeah, we're just saying all teams.
The ones you have to talk about are the Pats' undefeated season.
But they didn't win.
They lost. Well, I'm saying that
they didn't win.
Of the Super Bowl winners.
Of the Super Bowl winners.
Super Bowl winners, then I guess you can't talk about their undefeated season. There are a lot of Pats teams that you should talk about.
Correct. 04.
But that's what I was telling Dan.
I think the 2004 Patriots could match up.
Yeah.
Those Patriots teams were really good, but I think this Eagles team could have beat them. It's like not a guarantee. It's Tom fucking Brady. But it's not like I don't think we would get the doors blown off of us by any of these teams, and I think we would destroy most of them.
Well, I mean, that 04 Patriots roster was really good. They had a really good secondary with Gay and with Harrison, and then they had Ty Law, who's a Hall of Fame corner. Really good linebackers. They had really good linebackers.
It's always so hard to do this shit too because it's like when you compare eras, like do you get to use shit that they only developed in the last 20 years and just completely fool the 2004 team? Like, what the fuck is Wildcat? I mean, what is the air raid? What?
Yeah. You could talk about. Let me see some of these teams. You could talk about what team was I thinking about? I had somebody in mind.
I mean, the Seattle team blew. We've talked about them before. The Seattle
team was very good. Seattle was very good,
but like their
secondary. But I think
Seattle was very good offensively. We would, I think, with them on offense would have struggled.
I think like there's a lot of these teams that did win, in dominating fashion, like Seattle. Even they had like. Can you remember a wide receiver on their team?
Yeah,
you probably can because you remember everything. Can you remember a wide receiver on their team? Because I can't. I know they had Marshawn Lynch,
did they have
right?
Golden Tate yet?
Yes, they did.
Golden Tate, yeah,
okay, I only remember him because he fucking sucked for us.
Yeah. Their wide receiver core was Golden Tate, Jermaine Kearse, and Doug Baldwin.
Right, and that's nothing to write home about. I mean, they're good, but like, do they compare to our wide receiving core? No,
not at all. And we would have slowed them down. I mean, you would have had to focus more on Marshawn Lynch.
Man,
Yeah.
that shit was doomed from the first fucking snap. I was such a Peyton Manning fan, too. Like, he's going to show these annoying teams.
Percy Harvin, 2 carries, 45 yards. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, they did like an end around on him.
No Sean Moreno. That's
And he
a name
returned
I haven't
one.
heard in a while.
Do you remember how the second half started? Like, Denver was already getting their asses kicked, and Percy Harvin took the opening kickoff in the second half back to the house.
Yeah.
What a weird player Percy Harvin was.
He had the headaches. He had like migraine problems.
Yeah, he was a migraine guy.
Oh, God.
He
But
missed
he was
tons of
so
time because of
good.
it.
He was
That's why
so
got
fucking
moved.
good. And Percy Harvin, he was on those great Florida teams with Tebow. Urban Meyer says Percy Harvin was the best player on our team, and I believe it. He was a freak. He was like Tyreek Hill before Tyreek Hill.
Man, that's a lot of, like, Super Bowls.
There's some really
But
good.
I don't see the 49ers as winners anywhere.
No, I don't
Did we
see
forget
them.
Did we miss them somewhere?
In
They
the
talked a
last-
lot of shit. How if we didn't injure all 12 of their quarterbacks that they would have won. They talked a lot of shit, but every time they go in a Super Bowl, they fucking their pants are down. They have like that nightmare where they're naked in front of their teacher or something, and they have to give a school performance. They shit the bed every fucking time. Fuck the Niners. I hate them more than our division rivals at this point.
Well, guess where the Super Bowl is next year, Ken?
Hopefully we could win it in their
Levi
house.
Stadium.
And fuck Tim Lincecum and those Giants teams too. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah. No, I'm the same way. I mean, we're gonna come back to the Super Bowl thing, but a quick side note: to all the Cowboys fans, to all the 49ers fans, to all the fucking losers at Big Charlie Saloon down here in South Philly. I know you've probably had a tough time watching the Eagles and their fans, celebrate this week. But I hope your fucking day gets worse. I really do. I hope your fucking days get worse.
No, it's not that bad. Cowboys fans, there's some good news for Cowboys fans. Their favorite basketball team just got Luka.
Yeah, that's true. And the Yankees had some
Yeah,
good off-
that's true.
And the Yankees.
That
had
is
some good
true.
off-
What's wild
offseason.
is Luka was taken from the team that they should be supporting if they're real Dallas fans, but those don't even live in Dallas.
The Yankees had some good off the field signings this year. No, but looking back on these Super Bowl teams, Tampa in 03 was really good from top to bottom. Their defense is a historical defense. They're really good. Offense, they had Keyshawn Johnson, solid. Mike Allstott, work done. Not a great quarterback in Brad Johnson, but defensively they were very good. So, I'm trying to find the most balanced
But
team.
that's a blowout too. Like that, I guess the best places to look are the blowouts. But even still, like you talked about the 04 Pats. I mean, we lost to that team in 04-05, right? So, and that was only a 3-point game.
Yeah, I would
That
say
ended on a turnover.
Geez, if there was a team that I, wouldn't want to play, I mean, you could even say maybe the first Chiefs team that won with Tyreek.
Yeah, that's another one I was looking at. The Pittsburgh team with AB, Le'Veon, and who was the other
Which
receiver
one was
on
that?
team?
Man, Pittsburgh had a lot of good teams over the years.
Actually, did they win?
No,
with,
they never won.
No,
Pittsburgh's
sorry,
team
it was Santonio Holmes that had that
yeah,
big catch.
the Eagles
in
beat
that
them
Super
earlier
Bowl.
that year. Eagles beat both of those teams in the regular season. People forget that. And
What was the temperature that day?
oh wait, it was a hot day. It was week 3 of the 2008 season. It was a hot day, and I remember I was at my dad's and watched it. They wore the white jerseys. Brian Westbrook got hurt in that game. They played Arizona.
What is happening?
They played Arizona on Thanksgiving night and smoked them in the black uniforms that year.
I have to take a picture of my
you
car
been-
when I park in a garage so that I know what floor it was on.
Have you been diagnosed with anything?
With autism? No, not yet.
That's insane. I mean, I'm going to look that up in the edit because I'm not going to do it right
remember
now.
in
And
that
you're,
game-
you're probably going to get some points on the board for
Say
that one.
more
Dan.
shit.
I remember. No, I can keep going about that Pittsburgh game because I remember in that game they sacked Big Ben I think 12 times, and Brian Dawkins had a strip sack at the end of that game.
What year was this?
Oh wait, in Philly.
Well, Pittsburgh wasn't even in the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, they were. Oh wait, I'm so we're 09, whatever it was. It
09,
was the
or
08,
no.
08, 09 season.
Oh,
that,
okay.
that one, yeah. What are you gonna do? Look up their season?
Yeah.
see, let's see.
That's what
If
we're
you
gonna
click
do.
on it, does it give you their schedule?
here
Yeah,
we
but
go.
you have to go
Boom.
back
Week
in
3,
years.
I would say. I think it was week 3 against the Eagles.
It was the 08-09 season.
I guess, yeah, or 08, 09. It might have been.
Oh, I think I saw it. Week 3?
Yeah, week.
This is insane.
Are you gonna look up the stats? I want to say the Eagles had like 12 sacks. It was something crazy like that. Brian Dawkins had a strip sack at the end of the game.
What else
Brian
you got?
Westbrook got hurt in that game. I
Before we
remember
go to the stats, what else you got?
that.
They wore the
I'm
white
going to
jerseys.
try and
you
come
said?
up with who scored. I want to say Carell Buckhalter had a long touchdown
Corral
run.
Buckhalter. Okay.
Could be wrong though on the long touchdown, but I think he
It's
did
only
have a
15
touchdown.
to 6.
Yeah, I think he had a touchdown.
It would be the only touchdown.
I
of the
don't know
game.
if they had
They scored
a
5
defensive
in the
touchdown.
fourth quarter, so there was
would have to be through the air because McNabb had that passing touchdown.
They had a safety, I
All
believe,
right,
at the end of the game.
who got the safety? Who got the safety? Can you?
Wasn't Buckhalter.
Westbrook got hurt. Buckhalter didn't score.
No.
Was it at?
It was Buckhalter through
yes,
the air.
he had a receiving touchdown. Yes.
I didn't even remember Buckhalter as a
Yeah,
player.
it was
So the fact that you're like, he got the
Tony
one-
Hunt. That's a name from the past. Penn State or Tony Hunt.
You get Lorenzo Booker.
That was Deshaun's rookie year.
Yeah.
But forced fumbled.
Remember
Is it on there
Broderick
that
Bunkley.
forced fumbled the Dawkins have? Can you?
Dawkins
had a
sack,
crazy. Yes, he had the
which
sack.
was probably was it a strip sack that he had?
It was. He swatted
so
out.
that-
It was a sick
that's-
play. I remember he like leaped over a guy and like fucking karate chopped out his hand. How many
Brian
sacks did
Dawkins
the
leaped
Eagles-
over a guy
How many
and-
sacks did they have that day? Because I know they had a lot.
Doc recovered a fumble there. It was Hunt that.
I think he stripped it and recovered it.
They had nine
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 sacks.
sacks.
Nine
I thought it was
sacks
12.
that day.
All right. They
That's
beat
still
the
a
shit
lot.
out-
It's more than we got in the Super Bowl.
They beat the shit out of Big Ben. That's like one of the worst Big Ben games ever. And they still went on to go to the Super Bowl. The Eagles beat them,
Looks like
and
our-
they
our-
smoked the Cardinals on Thanksgiving, and they fucking lost.
And
in
both
the
those
NFC
teams were in the
Championship.
Super Bowl that year.
And they lost to the Cardinals.
Can't
in the
believe
NFC
we ever
Championship.
beat the
That's one of the
Crabs.
hardest.
I do remember that one.
Yeah, they were winning 25-24, I remember, in that game. Their defense. Remember they were down? Larry Fitz had
Yeah.
like 3 big touchdowns in the first
It
half.
was
They
that
were
game that
down.
made me want Fitz when he was a free agent. Because there was
He's going to the Hall of Fame this year, by the way. He's going to
there
be
was a
first
time
ballot.
where he was
No
like
way he's
about to maybe not re-sign with Arizona and
I remember
start
that,
looking
yeah.
at other teams. And he would have fit in perfectly with our offense. We needed a wide receiver forever. Andy never got a guy, and would have been a great fit.
Dude,
but
it would be worth it just so
came
he
to be.
couldn't play against us.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
bench
because he
him.
always
Just
killed
bench
us. He always killed us.
Yeah, he torched us.
Yeah.
I've never been more terrified of a
You
player
have
than Larry.
insane
I'll tell you what.
recall.
And as good as a player he was, is as good as a dude he is. Larry Fitz is like, he's just such a good dude.
Speaking of good,
Kind of like Saquon. He gives you like the Saquon vibe where it's just like, yes, sir, no,
Great
sir.
leader.
Just great player. And
speaking of that and good dudes, I mean, this is like this game being such an ass kicking. It was like an exorcism. Think about all the negative aura and feelings we had around that 2004 team, and you have McNabb and T.O. and a bunch of other receivers that just were not the same caliber as the ones we have now, and drama and credit and who wants this and benchings and people late and fights in the media. Compare that to Hurts, who says the right thing all the time. A.J. Brown, they're desperate to say he's some horrible diva. All he does is just like obliterate people on the field. And then Saquon comes in and he's like, as Hurts told him, like, you're the missing piece. He's like an absolute superstar. They sell out to stop him, and he's like, look, all I care about is the Lombardi. I could have 0 yards. We win, good.
Yeah.
And the selflessness and the high character guys we have, it's like complete. It's like night and day with like. I mean, I don't hate Andy Reid, but he was kind of running like a. It was like one of those like Miami Hurricane teams at times.
Player friendly coach was what he was always labeled as there. Yeah, but
McNabb was a jerk off. Say what you want.
He was.
He's a fucking dick.
No, I mean, it wasn't fair that we
and he
booed
should
him
have.
from
And
the
listen,
get-go, but still.
and listen, there's certain guys you just. I'm talking as McNabb. There's certain guys that you just know. There's a certain way to talk to people, and you can't look at your star wide receiver and look him in the face and tell him to shut the fuck up. It's just probably not going to work out for you.
especially not a guy who doesn't react well to aggression and it's
Correct.
pretty publicly.
If anyone needs
yeah.
the kid gloves, it's
public
T.O.
knowledge. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, he needs the constant pats on the back,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was
T.O.'s like
McNabb's
Trump
guy.
if he was like a receiver.
And McNabb didn't like the fact that T.O. came in and took all the attention away from him. You could
Yeah.
tell he didn't. I mean, if there was social media now, T.O. would have been the biggest fucking thing
Made
ever.
no sense for him to think that. Like, he's a quarterback in the NFL. He thinks he can win without good wide receivers. Like, that's
Yeah.
insane. He was banging his head against the wall every fucking year with bad wide receivers. They never did anything.
McNabb's career can be summed up by the fact that he didn't know a game could end in a tie.
Yeah, well, getting back real quick on a point that we passed by earlier on young quarterbacks being stupid. Jaden Daniels, I mean, you're unimpressed. I wouldn't say unimpressed by his season, but maybe not yet sold on him.
No, listen, I think he had a very good year.
Yeah.
He's going to win rookie. I do. And I can't say like I didn't think, because he is good.
But to be sold on him in terms of like he's going to be that good for the rest of his career, you need to see more in him. But let's just look at other rookie quarterbacks that got to the NFC title game. Outside of Jaden Daniels, the last one was Brock Purdy. Mm-hmm. I have been you're a pretty big fan on Brock Purdy,
big, but I
compared
think-
to me.
compared to
me.
like
But he's the
when
new
I-
Tom Brady. He's the new Tom
No,
Brady.
listen,
guys.
Look at his season this year
when
without
people
McCaffrey.
he struggled. But he also got hurt too.
Excuses.
That's
Guys
our
get-
fault. The
guys get hurt.
49ers fans said that's
Don't
because
get
we
hurt.
cheated.
If he played through it, he's not that hurt.
Lost both his wide receivers. Ayuk was out for the year. Debo was in and out. Kittle's older. Offensive line's aging.
Kittle's not that old. Kittle's still like
Kittle
around his prime.
You know, here's speaking of Kittle. Kittle to me is the best tight end of this era. They'll always say Kelsey. They'll blow fucking Kelsey. But if you gave Kittle to Mahomes, I think Kittle would have put up the same numbers. Kittle overall to me was a better tight end than Kelsey. Blocking wise, Kittle to me was just
definitely better blocker.
I think just as good as a receiver too. He's been on a revolving door of fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, you can make that case for a lot of great tight ends too.
100%.
Yeah, it makes it a hell of a lot easier when you play next to a not just great quarterback, like
A guy who can extend plays way longer and
yeah, the GOAT conversation about Holmes has kind of been, I wouldn't say put to bed, but like put on the back burner until he does more.
Yeah, this is a big development because everyone was getting way so far ahead of themselves about he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. Like I always said,
wins 3 straight, he's the
he
GOAT.
has so much talent, he certainly could be the GOAT, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be the GOAT, especially since you already lost to Brady one-on-one until you have more rings than him.
Did you hear me screaming that all night at the game?
Yeah.
I got up at the TV and screamed that. This is their GOAT. I screamed that all night.
And I think you have to say, not only do you put the GOAT debate to rest, at this point, Mahomes is behind Joe Montana. Very fairly, Montana is a better player. He's got more rings, and he hasn't had any interceptions in the Super Bowl.
Mahomes'
stats in the Super Bowl are not amazing.
Who's the other one behind
Peyton
Montana?
Manning. I put Peyton ahead of him too still, a little bit.
Peyton doesn't have the wins.
Peyton doesn't have the wins because of the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be so painful to get cockblocked by Tom Brady for so long. The fact that he has any rings is kind of a miracle in and of itself.
I guess you can make the comp to Josh.
It's just such a relevant, it's just a relevancy right now. Like everybody's watching Mahomes. You forget how good Peyton was in his prime.
Yeah.
Like prime Peyton was fucking, and then you look back on the Patriots teams who are watching other teams' practices and shit. So
Peyton's the version of the quarterback that every tired old boomer says that every single quarterback should look like. You know what I mean?
So Peyton was good enough where he could do it today too. Like if him in his prime, even today, he wouldn't even need to run. He was just such a fucking sheriff.
Yeah, he diagnosed the defense before he even ran out to the field. He literally
would call out the shit before they were even set.
But to put a bow on the point about Purdy. I think if you put Jaden Daniels in the team that Purdy played with this year, he does significantly better.
Probably right.
The guy before Purdy was Sanchez. I think that one's a pretty obvious one. He was never really good. Flacco was the last one.
Hold on, let's stay on Sanchez for a second. I mean, the reason I just hit my funny bone. Fuck great. Sanchez was carried by that defense. I mean, people forget how good that
Bart Scott
defense was. Bart Scott,
can't wait.
Prime, Darrell Revis, Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah,
they were fun. LaDainian Tomlinson was on that squad.
Had more kids than guys that played on defense.
Correct, yes. What was it with those Chargers teams? He played, Phillip Rivers got 10 kids.
Yeah.
I miss Rex
They
Grossman.
just sat and...
Well, he just doesn't rap it. He's super Catholic.
Yeah, okay.
He just had one every time. You know?
I really do miss that era of football, and just look at how good the quarterbacks were in the AFC with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning,
it's kind of like
Joe
today.
Flacco, you have Ben Roethlisberger, you have Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
And then, am I missing anyone in the AFC? That was pretty fucking solid to get through. And then the NFC, who did you even have? You had Drew Brees.
Well, we had our guy.
Do you want me to keep going with my memory with these games? I can tell you.
Go for it.
I remember in that Mark Sanchez game, that was the undefeated Colts team. They went on to lose in the Super Bowl to the Saints. Remember that game? I remember Braylon Edwards had a really big catch for the Jets in that game.
Braylon Edwards, that's a name.
For the Jets, yeah. Mark Sanchez actually didn't play that bad in that game. There you go, right there, 17 of 30, 257.
You should be one of the guys handing paper to Merrill Reese.
I wouldn't even need the paper. I just tell him what he needs to fucking read. The next one I remember, an injury to starter Kyle Bowler and his backup. Yeah, I was week 1. I remember in that game, Joe Flacco. Well, no, he gave it to Willis McGahee, and Willis McGahee got absolutely fucking destroyed in that game. I don't know if we could pull that hit up, but I forget who hit him. I think it was the safety. He got knocked out of the game. I remember them taking his fucking.
This was in the NFC title game.
Might be Ryan Clark.
Jumping off
in the NFC title game.
Yeah, AFC title. AFC Championship.
Jumping off the football that we actually saw at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is a whole event. There's a halftime show. There's commercials. I have to say it was quite humorous to watch all these commercials. I don't even know how this got approved. Kanye decided to release his own commercial. He filmed it in the dentist's office. He said, "I spent all my money on this teeth cleaning. I can't do that." And then if you clicked on his website and you saw what he was selling, he just had one shirt that just had a swastika on it. What is this guy doing?
Here we go. Watch this hit. Just died.
Clark hit him so much he was hurt.
Yeah.
Willis McGahee AFC title game gets
And that probably is what made Ryan Clark stupid, and then ESPN thought to hire him. And now
Made
he has
him
all these
stupid.
shit fucking takes that he has every day on ESPN. That's a fucking joke. Anyway, Willis McGahee.
How many hot takes come from
when
that
Willis
hit?
McGahee wasn't getting his head beat in, he had the worst injury probably you'd ever see on TV in the fucking 2003. Can we go back and look up the? I think it was there. Just type in 2000. Just hit back. I think I saw it. Just type in Willis McGahee hit against Ohio State. So he had this one where he got absolutely mangled, and this might be one of the most gruesome injuries you'll see here. I don't know if you remember this one.
Knee injury?
Yeah, watch this. Watch
The knee injury?
Yeah, watch this.
Oh, I can't watch knee injuries.
You'll see. No, you don't see it at first. It's. I mean, this one's as bad as it gets. Can you put it in fast motion? Can you go back? Do they have it? I guess. Go back. You'll get the full. We need the.
Wait, is this gonna?
Unless you just want to see it there.
Oh, that hurts.
How do you ever walk again when that shit happens?
Damn, how did he get to the league after that?
And the guy was solid. I mean, people forget he was like a solid
Yeah, he was good.
running back
He was good.
until he got hit by Ryan Clark. But other than that, he was good.
Yeah,
So he had,
Yeah.
a fucked up knee and a fucked up head.
yeah,
Just wish we could turn off injuries in real life.
that would be great. But yeah, maybe Flacco is probably the only. Flacco and Roethlisberger are probably the two.
Dan
that you
Marino.
can actually,
Dan Marino went to a Super Bowl his rookie year.
in recent years, this one's only going back to 1999.
Well,
Rookies-
it's not
rookies
not recent. It was only 1984.
It reminded me of like a Dave
We were talking about the last 25 Super Bowls here.
Dave Chappelle when he did that one stand up and he's like, we're talking the truth. I didn't know we were going back to Egypt. I didn't know we were going back to Marino.
Well, Big Ben. Big Ben was a good one.
Yeah, right. That's the last one.
Big
after
Ben.
Flacco
They
was
went
Big Ben.
15-1.
Yeah.
People forget that they lost the opening week and he won 15 straight. Beat the Eagles in Week 7 that year.
Big
I don't know if you
Ben,
remember.
Big Ben was
Eagles
so good.
were
It's like
undefeated.
it's
I
like
don't
he won't.
remember. You do.
Other players quit, but with Big Ben, no doesn't always mean no, and he just keeps on grinding until he gets what he wants, no matter what the other side's saying. He'll just keep going.
He'll just keep. No, does not mean that. Yes, exactly. What do you need me to do? My phone?
Yeah, just
Get
keep
it
that
out.
frame.
Get it
That's
out of
all.
the frame. It's disgusting.
Yeah. With Big Ben, jumping back onto football.
Football.
Yeah.
Talk about football.
No, I remember. Yeah, Week 7, beat the Eagles that year, smoked them. Hines Ward. That was like the first game where you really saw McNabb and T.O. kind of not getting along, and T.O. was following him up and down the sideline. McNabb wanted to hear none of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they lost to the Patriots.
Who sang the national anthem that game?
Couldn't tell you, but I do remember.
Creed.
I remember it's when it was when it was Heinz Field at the time, and I remember at Heinz Field they had these giant ketchup bottles that used to blow up like every time they got in the red zone.
So
Like
stupid.
I like ketchup, but
Wait,
I'm not,
like the
never
wacky
even-
inflatable arm guy? Like, but they were
No,
Heinz
they were
bottles?
just like these giant inflatable like ketchup things. They would blow up. I only remember because I went to a game there and they had it.
Oh, okay. Well, they don't have those anymore because they changed the name of that field.
Correct.
Yeah, only one before that was Sean King. I don't even remember this guy.
Yeah,
I was
dude, look at
like
that score in
7
that
years
game. I
old
remember-
in this.
I remember hearing like Warren Sapp talk about that game, 1999. They lost 11-6, and that was like the Bucks defense really carried them, but they just needed a new coach. They had Tony Dungy still at the time, and they fired him for this guy. I'll tell you what, man, they brought in John Gruden. And they fired Dungy and brought in Gruden.
Offensive guru John Gruden only put up 6 points in that game.
No, that was the Dungy team, and then a couple years later they brought in.
okay.
They were like, "Oh, we're
Dungy-
done with this fucking." Clown
Dungy got carried hard by Peyton Manning.
Dungy was a good coach.
Yeah,
Dungy was a good coach.
yeah. Well, those are all of the recent quarterbacks that have gotten to the NFC title game.
Yeah, but what about 1948? That was really good.
Night Train Lane.
And as of yet, no rookie has won a Super Bowl with their first team.
I got to
But-
say this too, and you think about the Eagles last winning the Super Bowl was it February of 2018. they won. Carson Wentz sat on the sideline
Yep.
and watched his backup, Nick
Sure
Foles,
did.
win it. And in 2025, Carson Wentz sat on the sideline and watched his backup, Jalen Hurts, win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Brady was there both times that we won. Thanks, Brady. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah. Tom felt like he was rooting for us because he wanted the GOAT
No,
conversation to stay
that's his
on
best
him.
legacy protecting game ever.
Even though I think the Super Bowl loss that bothers him most was 52 because
There's no
it was
way.
his best game.
No
There's
way.
no way the undefeated season
There's no way
isn't
that-
what bothers him the most.
That's okay. Yeah.
He would probably trade at least 2 rings.
It
for
was
that.
still his best game in a Super Bowl though. And he,
100%,
and
yeah.
he lost anyway.
I-
We remember he didn't stay on the field to shake Nick's hand.
I know they
there was
say
a lot
that, yeah,
made about that because he was so pissed about the loss. But probably it's
Nick
probably
Foles
his
has been
undefeated
trolling
season.
on Twitter, and they did a commercial together. So I think the mend has
Yeah,
been made.
they did do a commercial together.
And it's like, this is why we practice catching.
Yeah. Well, he should have said that to Wes Welker in that 2012 Super Bowl. Wes is the reason they lost that Super Bowl.
Dude,
Wes
that
Welker
sucks for
makes
Wes
that
Welker.
catch.
He was on the Patriots so long, no rings. Oh, my God.
Yeah, they
He also created the I shouldn't say created, but created the
He revolutionized the slot
Yeah, the
receiver.
momentum of the slot receiver being
Yeah.
probably your
He
best
was the
receiver on
Cooper
field,
DeJean
yeah.
of wide receivers.
Yeah, yeah. He was the DEI hire for slot receivers.
Dude, Wes Welker was so
The
good.
DEI formation.
So for him to drop that ball was crazy. I remember that. And I remember right when it happened, too, I had like a shitty feeling about it. Because I had a girlfriend at the time. I was like in high school, and her family was Giants fans.
Gross.
So it was like I was the only one that was in there rooting for the Patriots because I loved Tom Brady at the time. And I was like, fuck. And I remember he dropped it, and then I watched the Giants go down, fucking Mario Manningham down the sideline, made that insane catch. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Patriots were a fun team. I mean, that was like rookie Gronk, rookie Aaron Hernandez, Danny Woodhead. Like they had I think Deion Branch was on that team, like an older Deion Branch.
Yeah.
Randy Moss, I think, was still on that team.
They had likable players. It was just I can't keep watching the same team.
Yeah, I know. It's brutal.
Yeah,
I hope the
you know what
Patriots
the
lose
fucking
for the next
Giants
20
don't
years.
mind.
20 years at least of below 500 play before we even get close to
Right.
even. Fuck those.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the GOAT conversation's not even close. And I didn't think it was close even if Mahomes won this. I'm like, he's still 3 rings short of Brady, and Brady has every fucking record
Brady
ever.
has the head-to-head. Like, he's going to have to have at least one more ring to overcome that.
Yeah. I mean, you could make the argument that Brady was probably his last good year with the Bucks, but at the same time, it's like young Mahomes. Was that his first Super Bowl appearance?
Second. Yeah.
Early
That
in
was
his career.
Mahomes' 3rd year in the league, so it's not like he had 2 years experience. It was like Mahomes was still one of the best players in the league.
The only thing he could do at this point to become GOAT in one season would have to be do the undefeated season.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to happen.
That would do
because
it, but he's not.
But
yeah,
it's
he's
like
not
so
gonna
hard.
It
have
ain't
Now they're
happening
adding
anytime
even more
soon. They
games.
got to fucking add a lot to that
it.
team.
If they didn't do it with Tyreek, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this kid they have Worthy is going to be pretty fucking good, though.
I don't know if he's going to be Tyreek level good though.
Nah,
He's good.
He's not. He's good.
good.
He's unworthy. If you.
We'll see. As a rookie, he had a pretty fucking good Super Bowl.
He had 2 touchdowns in this game.
He had 8 catches. He was 8 for 8 attempts.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, 156 yards. He had a pretty fucking good game.
He did have a good game.
R.I.P.
He
to
did.
all-
He had one of them against the backups though.
Yeah, doesn't count.
He did, which I will say this. Everybody's going to talk about, we said this too, everybody's going to talk about that Jalen throw to Devontae Smith. That Mahomes throw at the end of the game was one of the greatest throws I've ever seen.
Yeah, but nobody's going to care.
Nobody cares.
Nobody's
It'll
gonna
be
care.
so forgotten, which makes me so
He
happy.
makes, yeah, but he also routinely makes those insane throws.
I know, but still. it was
Craziest throw I saw was in that Bucs Super Bowl where he's like sideways and
Yeah,
throws it
yeah,
and
those
hits the
are
guy in
wild.
the hands. Like that was the most insane. That was like the backwards hurdle of quarterback play.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the guys that kind of, threw the book out on throwing mechanics. Because he just
I would
got
say
away with
Rodgers
everything.
was the
Rodgers
guy.
is another guy, yeah. Before him, definitely. But now everybody does it. Now everybody has messed up. I wouldn't say messed up fundamentals, but
Yeah.
Tebow had terrible fundamentals in terms of the way he threw the
Tebow
ball.
threw
But
a fucking
but he was never good. He was
a guy who never threw a football before.
yeah, he was subject A of why you should have good fundamentals throwing the football.
Dude, if they had NIL back then, Tebow would still be Florida's quarterback.
Yeah.
He'd be 40 years old. He'd be
Yeah,
doing
still
No,
slinging it.
Tebow is one of the 3 guys I think of in college sports that would have made so much fucking money. I think of him. I think of Tyler Hansbrough at UNC, who was
Yeah.
fucking and he's one of the biggest dicks I've ever met. So I'm so
Oh,
happy
yeah?
that he never made any money and that he fucking stunk in the NBA. It makes me so happy. Menzel would have. I mean, Menzel already did make a bunch of money, but Menzel's
Yeah,
the other
he
guy to
did.
think of.
Dude, Manziel was my favorite like college quarterback to ever watch. Like the guy was crazy. Just those plays he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Menzel in college was fucking.
The stories about
electric.
Menzel are insane too. Like what he,
Man
I mean,
knows how to party.
all of the party stories about him are true. Like all of them. There's
Yeah.
nothing made
You
up.
can just
about
make
it.
up
You're
a
like,
story about
yeah,
him and it'll
that checks
become
out.
He would
true.
get blackout drunk and like literally roll out of bed and go play football.
Then he would go for 5 touchdowns. Literally,
Yeah.
Kingsbury in that documentary was like, "Are you drunk right now?"
Like, does it
Yeah.
matter?
And he
So-
went out and threw 5 touchdowns and ran for like 230 yards.
It's wild that you can get away with that in college, not in the NFL.
Yeah, no, he revolutionized, and he revolutionized Texas A&M.
Yeah.
He because of them, they built a whole new stadium because of him.
Yeah, they built a whole new stadium to go 8-4 in.
Kyle Field's great.
Going back to
great
the
point.
original point, though, any of these teams, do any of these teams strike you as better than our 2024-2025 Philadelphia Eagles?
I would honestly say the only one that really kind of would make me like shit myself would be that undefeated Patriots team that lost anyway. Like I'm not saying it's a guarantee we would beat all these teams, but we definitely could. There's none of these teams that outclass us, and there's a few of these teams that we outclass completely.
I might have two. I have two that would probably surprise you that I look at and I think could take on the Eagles. The 2006 Pittsburgh Steelers, weirdly enough, were a pretty balanced team. People forget how good their defense was.
But, I mean,
Hall of Fame coach
Pittsburgh
Bill Cowher.
defenses are always good. Especially against
Solid offense. You had Antoine Randall, solid receiver. You had Hines Ward.
Santonio Holmes in that game?
No, not yet.
Not
He
yet.
might have been on
Or
that
is he
team.
in
He
the
might have just been
09?
young. He might have just been younger, but he might have been on that team.
But wouldn't our
Yeah.
defense
Hold on.
shut that down?
Hold on. You had Jerome Bettis still. You had a young Big
Bettis.
Ben. You had Willie Parker. They had like
Deuce?
what's that?
Deuce on that team? Or
I don't
is
know
it
if he was
09
on that team. He might have been. He might have been older. I say the 2011 Packers too. Young Aaron Rodgers, he was electric. Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. Their running backs weren't great though. It's the only thing you
Do
think
they
of.
have
Like,
any good? What about their defense? I don't
Clay
know.
Matthews, Charles Woodson.
Clay Matthews.
Yeah,
Remember
no,
didn't
Deuce.
we
Wow,
draft
look
his
at this
brother and he
receiving line.
sucked?
4 guys caught a ball in that game.
And Antoine Randall threw a touchdown that game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Willie Parker had the second.
I wish we
longest
could
run.
beat the shit
More
out of.
guys ran the ball than caught it for the Steelers. What a Steeler line.
Yeah, I mean, Big Ben had not an impressive game at all.
Crazy.
Just shout out to that really shitty Super Bowl of the Patriots versus the Rams, the worst Super Bowl I ever saw. So I think we could destroy both of those teams.
The other team was,
Well, I said those two.
what was the other one?
I said them both. I said two.
The
I said
Packers, 11?
Packers 11. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah, this team was really good.
and they went 10-6, but he turned it on in the playoffs. He
Not
was
so
on
much
fire.
of a rushing attack, but I mean, this was early prime Rodgers. This was discount double check Rodgers.
Yeah,
Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, James Jones, Donald Driver. I mean, that's an insane group of wide receivers to put with a
Yeah.
quarterback that was that good at that time.
yeah. People forget how good. I think we had the conversation. People forget how good Greg Jennings was.
Yeah.
Greg Jennings was really good.
As
at that
good
time.
as that was, though, and that's a real murderer's row offense. I feel
Their
like
defense was good. No, their defense was good.
but
bro.
I feel like our defense would have a good chance of like really shutting them down or disrupting
And the
them. With
prime
the pressure,
Rodgers was
the pressure
dangerous.
we could get on Rodgers, and
get-
like those are great corners, but like we have guys that could all run with all of them.
If you get to Rodgers with 4 guys and you're dropping back 7, like we talked about last week, I mean,
yeah, no, absolutely.
that means you can afford to double cover 2 guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, listen, Eagles can be talked about. We can go back and look at all Super Bowl winners if you want.
Sure.
And if you want to do that, where do the Eagles fall in line at the all-time teams? Now, you got to take into consideration, the time they played in, and you can give them that benefit. But we want to look at top to bottom roster. Where do the Eagles match up with the all-time teams? You can say, I would say the teams that come to mind for me are the late 80s San Francisco 49ers teams.
These games they don't have official stats on ESPN, so we can't go look at them.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons
it's
why
okay,
we
I
stopped
remember
it
all
at
the stats.
25 years. Yeah, you do. You weren't alive in the 80s and you remember all the stats.
Dude, we'd be so good back then when the helmets were made out of asbestos and black people couldn't even play. Man, we would blow those teams up.
I mean, that's a good point. Any Super Bowl played without black people, we'd beat that team easily.
I actually
It'd be
wasn't
great.
the NFL like not like baseball? Like weren't they integrated from the beginning or like pretty close?
I don't know.
All I know is you leave your best players off. You're not. There's only so many Cooper DeJeans to go around. So
Yeah, I mean, Marion Motley played for the Browns, and
Who?
Exactly. Marion Motley was an African American guy. He played for the Browns in the late 40s into the 50s. Can do a quick Google on Marion Motley. He was a bigger running back for his time, but he was a horseman. He was a tough guy to bring down. And it was funny in the late 40s. The Browns had just been like established, and they didn't think the Eagles were like the what's the word I'm looking for? The league, like the best, not the best team in the league, but
darling,
not the darling, but even just the
the
gold standard of the NFL. It's like the Eagles were the championship squad.
You're talking about 60?
No, in like the late 40s, because they won in 47. I think like 49. They played
It's running like he
their
shit
opening
himself
night.
underwater.
They played their home opener. I think it was a night game against the Browns, and the Eagles were like picked to destroy them. And the Browns came in with like Otto Graham and all these great players and beat the shit out of the Eagles.
How do you know this? You weren't alive.
I was not.
How is this being recalled?
He's an advanced sports LLM.
Did you just
by Mark Zuckerberg?
Did you just like download all this when you were in like high school, just looking through stat lines and stuff?
I looked at everything, man. I just watched old footage of it, and I thought it was so interesting.
Can we bring the field
I
goal
would just
in the
watch
middle
so
of the
much
end
footage
zone?
of old games and stuff, and I would just like, I have all this useless knowledge. I was just like,
It's not useless
All
now. You're on
your
a podcast
IQ
talking
points
about
for
it.
putting sports.
What do you want to look up, Ken?
I don't even remember what I was. Oh, I'm just saying we need to bring back the fucking field goal in the middle of the end zone. Imagine the crazy screens you could do with that shit.
Yeah.
the way you could injure players too. You could like
Fuck
set up. You
out
could like
of
pick a
players.
defensive player like to go head first into a fucking goalpost.
I think you would end up having to take a guy off the defense to play near the pole.
All right.
Like, to navigate.
Let's
I miss
talk-
This old football
let's
when they all
talk-
sucked, but they would kill each other. It was
Let's
great.
talk Ken's favorite guy, Kanye West. Talk about this commercial.
Yeah, so we see the commercial.
Into the mic.
We see the commercial, and he filmed it with like his iPhone in the dentist's office, and he says, "So I guess we could just play it." Comments on this video were like, "We don't need that intro and outro was not necessary."
Yeah, we can't play audio because of copyright.
It got copyright.
No. I'm saying like on the recording we can't.
So he's like, I spent all my money on this teeth cleaning, so I had to film the. And then if you went to Yeezy.com, he had one article of clothing for sale. It was the HHO1. It was just a white T-shirt with a swastika.
No, this is his website.
They took it down because it was too racist. Everyone's like, Kanye needs to be stopped. Like,
Whoa,
he's
whoa,
stopping
whoa.
himself.
It's
he's
Ye.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, it's
don't
Ye.
dead name him.
It's Ye. I miss the old Kanye. Listen, Kanye's, when it comes to music, old Kanye music I love, but
Yeah.
I can't support this fucking guy.
Chop up the soul.
This guy's fucking...
You're not gonna get the HHO1. What does the HH stand for? Do you think? Yo,
Something I'm gonna have to bleep if you say it out loud.
you know, like Kanye with like he's always in the fashion. You bet he wishes he was hanging around like the Hugo Boss and all those like Nazi fashion designers, like
It doesn't stand
or
for Hugo.
Chanel or whatever. Who was the one, the Nazi collaborator, the French woman, Coco Chanel? It's like, nah, man, you gotta do.
Hugo Boss made the uniforms. I know that. That one gets referenced a lot.
But yeah, I had a brief conversation when I said, hey, you know, Kanye's pretty crazy. They're like, well, I don't want, he's hating me. I'm like, well, wouldn't you rather that be your enemy? And then I thought about it more, and it's like Taylor Swift benefited directly from Kanye being her enemy.
Yeah.
As he said, I made that bitch famous, even though he didn't. But
He didn't make her famous.
It doesn't matter. In
He
Kanye's
gave her.
world,
He gave
did.
her. He gave her a rabid cult,
Yeah.
which helped
Yeah.
her.
Yeah,
She was already famous though.
she was definitely already famous.
You mean the person that was at the VMAs was already famous, whatever the fuck it was?
Yeah.
I can't believe
it
that
It wasn't Hawk Tua that he did that to. It was.
No.
I can't believe that was as long as ago as it was. I remember because I didn't watch that live. That Beyonce, the greatest album of all time.
Again, then that halftime show. Let's just say, watching that with white liberal people. I don't know. You know, I'd rather watch with black people, but clearly I'm not like Cooper DeJean. I'm not getting into the cookout. I'm not invited yet, unless some of my fans want to invite me. It's just You'd rather you just like the.
I would be invited to the cookout.
You'd rather watch that with like racist white boomers than like white liberals that are like out of their way. Versus, what's this shit? It was better when.
Well, as Dan's getting to it, let's put Kanye aside because
we watched.
We have
it
to
with
celebrate.
I mean, I feel like we watched it with a lot of people like that. They really weren't into the halftime show where we were.
Don't worry.
Let's put Kanye aside for now because we have some celebration to do. Put out the champagne for you guys because our Philadelphia Eagles just won the goddamn Super Bowl.
I frankly take credit.
I feel like you should pop this.
Nah, this is all you. Go ahead.
Look at it real close.
The twist open?
Yeah, just watch the. Don't point it toward you. Yeah, point it to the wall.
Make sure you put your eye in the way of it. Celebrate. There we go. Wow, it didn't even explode.
That's coming. That's not.
Watch that foil at the top.
That's how you open. Take notes, people. They can't hear me, but.
He's a bartender, folks. He knows what he's
He
doing.
knows what he's doing.
Let's get that foil off the top so it doesn't go in a drink. There you go.
Foil your plan.
We're in Joe's first.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
The host with the most.
What a time to be alive.
What a time.
Celebrate.
Kanye doesn't deserve us to talk about him.
That's true.
Because I missed the whole Kanye.
Chop up the soul, Kanye.
You'll meet Mike tomorrow. And Mike, to me.
Let's get a Go Birds.
Mike
on
was a
camera.
huge.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go
Go
Birds.
Birds.
Champs.
Have a day tomorrow. You're putting the highlights on?
Yeah, just
And
put it
then-
on while we were toasting,
And then since this episode won't come out in time, we'll just let you guys know that we will be giving out cheesesteaks through a
Phillips
massive
Steaks tomorrow.
velocity on
Yeah,
Broad
let's
Street.
talk about this.
Yeah, so what's the
How
story?
did this come about? I got a great phone call yesterday from you guys, and I want to talk about it right now. How did this come about
You got a great phone call.
from you guys?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot we did talk to you yesterday. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. You were at my house. You were at my house yesterday. I don't know. Couldn't tell
Dude,
you.
you're the one that remembers. I don't
Couldn't
even remember
tell
what
you.
happened 10 minutes
No,
ago.
it was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. I had like this shit all over my hands. But yeah, so tomorrow we got reached out to by Phillips Steaks,
They're
South
great.
Philly.
They're great.
Can we shout out to Phillips Steaks?
Shout out Phillips.
In my
Steaks.
opinion, best steaks in the city. I've said that for a
Now
long time.
for sure, they're definitely the best steaks.
No,
in the
they were
city.
before too. I
We'll
was always
find
a
out
Phillips
for sure
steak.
why.
Yeah, they're not even paying us to say they're good. They're just straight up good.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys reaching out. We're going to be on top of your food truck tomorrow, throwing out
Oh wait,
throwing out
at
shirts,
the top it says food truck. Let's see a picture of this shit.
throwing out the.
Let's hope there's enough room on the.
Yeah, this is where
there
you
we
can
go.
find
That
us.
should be good. We're gonna be on top of this bad boy, throwing cheesesteaks.
That's bigger than I thought it was going to be. That's a good size.
Oh yeah,
So we'll be porched up on top.
yeah. So let's get this story.
Yeah, they reached out to us. This kid Jason, who he's the man, who always hooks it up every time I've gone. He came up to me one night in Barstool and was like, "Dude, I love your content. I love the videos that you do." At a random, didn't even know who he was, and then he was nice enough to give me a gift card to Phillips Steaks. Shout out that, and he's like family. I think it's his uncle or somebody owns it, so he works for them. But every time we've gone there and Ken's been there with me, he always hooks it up. And it's just like kind of a mutual thing. Like he always hooks it up, always gives me the steaks, and then we always shout them out on our Instagram and just kind of promote them. So
But
couple
they're
of
good.
beginning of the week, they said, "Listen, we're going to be down at the parade. We'd love to have you guys come out. You know, you've always supported us, yada yada yada, and then come out and make content with us, and we'll give you free food and whatnot, and you guys can stand up and film content on top of the truck and throw steaks out, and yada yada yada." So.
But we said we hope that they're half or third size.
I know.
Can
Joe,
we?
Joe,
Can we, yeah,
Joe
we have
has
to
the biggest
highlight
grin
this.
on his face. 'Cause
We have
he's
to
gonna-
highlight this. You kind
he's
of
gonna go
rolled
full-
over it like it was nothing. We are the three of us going to be standing on top of that food truck
during the parade.
during the parade to a mob of Philadelphia fans waiting for our Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles, chucking cheesesteaks at their fucking heads.
Does it get any more Philly than that?
It's iconic.
It doesn't.
I
get
This
any
know.
more
might be
Philly.
the coolest thing that happens this week outside the Super Bowl.
Yeah. We just need all Delco accents to make it perfect.
We need to bring another bottle of champagne, I think, up on top of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Pop it when they walk or when they drive by.
We're just the fans. We got to just hype the
Hell
fans
yeah.
up
We should just bring a case of champagne down there for them.
and just start. Don't even open it. Just throw the bottles at people. Before cheesesteaks, we heave out bottles of champagne real hard at people.
That'd be hilarious. I hope a young child on his father's shoulders,
Yes,
having a great memory, just gets pelted by a cheese.
We're just gonna be peppering people with cheesesteaks.
Shout out Phillips Cheesesteaks
They're
for
great.
the exact location. I don't know. This podcast is probably not going to be out before the parade route starts, but this is the exact location here. It's going to be the 1300 block of
Right
Broad
in the heart
Street.
of South Philly.
About the intersection of Broad Street between Reed and Wharton.
There we go.
So you'll see us there in South Philly.
What a day!
What a day! It's gonna
What
be
a
great.
day!
What a night. But yeah,
I guess I did put that very lightly, but yes.
You rolled over it like it was nothing. I was like, oh, come on. This is
Yeah.
this is going to be an iconic moment.
This'll be-
This might be I don't want to call your shot. This might be one of the more viral videos you have
Yeah,
this week.
especially if we can get
Yeah.
any interactions from the players. At
Yeah,
all.
if we get a player to-
AJ catches cheese.
We get a player to catch a cheesesteak. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Phillips Steaks. Best fucking cheesesteak in this city.
There's Jason Kelsey on top of that.
AJ.
Imagine that. That's going to make it to national news, or national sports news at least.
Yeah.
Three local morons released the cheesesteak.
I'm going to be wearing that fucking Jason Kelsey hat.
Yeah, you should, because you can pull the jet. Are you gonna have the pillow one?
Yeah, the big one, the
I
Mummers one.
considered taking that out, and they're like, "Look, you don't want to deal with that. It's too powerful. It's too heavy. You're
I'm
not
wearing
gonna...
it. I'm wearing it. You can't tell me otherwise.
I'm happy this is bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was going to be like a kind of like a Mr. Soul.
We're going to have some space there. We actually can bring some beach chairs up there just to chill.
Yeah, because we're gonna be
Yeah.
chilling up there with a cooler next to us. That'll be the move. And then
Well, there's gonna be other people too,
This is
but
a little
yeah.
worrisome. I think that's their ventilation for.
I think that's the.
cushion.
Is that really important?
Is
Just
it that,
close
or is it
that,
the
seal
roof
that.
behind them?
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
Can we get another picture of their truck? Let's see if I can find one. Phillips Steaks food truck. See, I don't think it's up there. I think that's. I mean,
there
Oh,
they
it
are.
is.
okay.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's probably vents for for the.
Let's
the
just
steam
duct
and
tape
stuff
that
for the
close.
cooking.
Yeah,
Like,
shut
what
that
could go
shit.
wrong?
Shut that shit.
Just let them fucking hotbox in there.
Dude, you would
It's not like they're cooking hot food or anything.
you would smell
no.
worse if you hotboxed in there. You would smell worse like onions than you did if it was like weed in your car. That'd be a bit much. But the steaks are good. They're gonna be free if we hit you in the face.
They're free regardless of whether you.
Joe couldn't be more excited for this.
I'm so excited.
This is gonna be great. I wish I could find my lacrosse stick. So
I'm
I
so
can
excited.
launch
These
them
guys
to
called
see
me
the
yesterday. These guys called me yesterday, and they're like, "I got something for you." I'm like, "All right, go ahead, hit me with it." They go, "What would you say to throwing cheesesteaks from the top of a food truck during the Eagles Super Bowl parade?" And I go, "I'm 1,000% doing that.
Joe's like
Say no more.
Check me in.
Joe's eyes.
Can we bring
lit up.
more people? I can get 5 more people interested in doing this, dude.
His eyes lit
It
up.
doesn't
when we were
just
like,
have to
"Oh,
be
it's
us.
gonna
We
on
can give
Broad."
this gift to everybody."
Get on up there. Let's see. It's gonna be like the pitching challenge at the Phillies thing. See how hard you can throw.
Yeah.
You charge people to go up and throw a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
I hope they have a ladder. I just don't want to be the
Well,
guy.
I don't think we have to hop up there.
I don't want to be the
figure
guy
it
that
out.
gets drunk and falls backwards off of it and breaks my neck and dies. So I'm just gonna be like, the beach chairs are a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Need a
Yeah, we also don't want to,
not
somber the moment with you falling and then.
No, we
you
don't.
know.
No,
Yeah,
we
you don't have to delete the video. My family be like, it was very disrespectful that you posted that video. Take that down.
Someone actually had. So we were out. I lost you guys once we got out to Broad Street, or once we got out to City Hall, rather, after the Super Bowl for celebrations.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, we lost you guys, but there was
But I know what you're
maybe
gonna say.
maybe
There
you
was-
don't.
There was people looking for Dan from Enterprise Sports.
Yes, there were people. I was one of them. But no, when we got out to City Hall, there was somebody on top of one of those, the trucks that block the street, on top of one of those with a flag with Tyler, the kid that passed, the Temple student, with like a flag just with his face on it, just to like honor him during the celebrations. Nice. It was really cool. Just try to get a photo of that up for you guys.
And then I died laughing at the one flag I saw where they did like I will give my life for Pakistan, but they did it for Philadelphia. Like, I will die for my country, Philadelphia.
Die for my country. It is a country.
When I grow up, I want to be an army and destroy Dallas Cowboys. Great. That video is so funny. I don't know how I didn't see it until you showed it to me. Great.
I saw that when TikTok first started. Yeah, I couldn't be more excited. Tomorrow's gonna be a day.
Let's talking about those celebrations after the Super Bowl. Let's get into some of them. You guys put out some really good content for the post game celebrations. So this is just real quick a video I had, or my friend had while we were out there. Just this guy fucking river dancing on top of an SUV.
It's appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna watch some of the videos that we have.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
We're reacting. That's a very reasonable thing. You shouldn't have parked your car down there. You're asking for it.
I mean, what idiot left their car parked there?
What was she wearing? Where were you parked? It's the same question.
Roof is just destroyed.
It's not even like a malicious destruction. It's just a happy destruction. You're just you're like, it's like a tornado or a hurricane.
Yeah.
Girl just flashing her whole
Watch
ass.
this at the end. This guy just gets pushed off by somebody walking by here.
Girl's taking about 45 minutes to get off this car. She made sure to sit down in the broken glass.
There, it's just a random arm pushing that guy off. That's the end of it.
R.I.P. All right. Don't do that.
All right, so now we're gonna go over to our videos.
Yeah.
People
Which
we
one do you guys
saw.
want to do first?
It doesn't matter.
Let's talk with this.
The
Let's do the guy with the cow costume. That was funny as hell. Let's close that.
Fuck you talking about? Go Birds! Fuck you talking about?
Go Birds.
All right, yeah. So
I
we
don't
have.
get that. Was that
I would
Chick-fil-A?
love to
What's
fly
going
a
on?
plane right now. Okay.
That guy.
So should we
Go
talk
Birds!
over it, or should we play it, then come back?
Awesome. I watched the game. Not only did I watch
Yeah. So we had this guy who said he watched the game in high definition,
Right.
That's good.
which would have been impressive. It was 2003.
I hope he got the DTV antenna for the switchonver.
It was this guy who quoted LeBron. This guy said.
There's the guy. All right, they were on the cop car. Quick thing. I was the only one that saw it. On the stupid cop car, they're like trying to dance on, which you're kind of playing with fire, but whatever. There was this girl sitting on it, and I'm the only one that saw her. She had like a pocket knife that you open up, but she kept it closed, and she tried like 3 or 4 times to smash the cop windshield and just gave up because I guess it's bulletproof. And bitch, what are you doing? We're having a good time. She was like the least hard looking one dancing and jumping on this. It looked like some of the people were having. You wouldn't expect it from her. You'd expect it from others. Yeah, this is the one doing it. It's annoying.
Yeah, we talked to this gentleman, and then this guy.
You know a bad bitch with a fat ass? You might not like her, but she bad. Suck my dick.
You don't know what to say. Suck
He
my
had to
dick.
say, so he went in the street, suck my dick.
Works every time.
At elementary schools. And,
Yeah, don't do
Did we see what happened to that windshield, or you just found it that way?
There was a guy stomping on it and
just
shit.
stomping on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think it was already.
What you get for leaving your car out?
this guy had the one-way sign.
They almost dropped this on multiple people's heads.
I asked him. I said, "What happens if a car is going the other way?" He said, "Fuck him." This guy told me.
This guy with no shoes on.
Did
No
you hear what this
shoes
guy
on.
said? He's like, "I got this tattoo because my dad was a crackhead."
Oh yeah.
I responded with, "You don't say."
Please get off my vehicle.
Get off my car,
And these
bitch.
girls who said,
I know that's your style. The
I'm
line
gonna name my son Shaquan Barkley.
how you doing, bud?
Doing
What's your name?
fucking great. I'm clearly not doing as good as you're supporting a Budweiser box on your head.
Hey, you notice this guy's drinking a Miller Light,
You look like
but had a
guy,
Budweiser box on his
except for the
head.
pound things. Well, I mean, we just smoked.
This guy looks like Ed Sheeran if he ate Ed Sheeran.
There we go. Yo,
These fellas, they're caffeinated.
Super Bowl is bussin'.
These TikTok porn-haired guys.
Mahomes is not ready.
Does Mahomes get enough hate for inventing that fucking haircut?
Brandon fucking
He
Graham
should. He
was
should get
coming.
more.
Jalen Hurts was coming. Cornerback Cooper DeJean with a pick six. Yeah.
How I feel?
Gotta feel good.
Aroused.
There's a lot of females out here. So.
I need to go home.
What are you, Diddying somebody tonight? All right, we're down here. Who are we here with?
Who's this dumbass?
It just didn't register, I guess.
Shout out my Philly versus everybody co-host, sister pod, John Thomas. He was there, obviously way too drunk to process what was happening in that interview.
I think I just asked him his name.
Yeah, you're just like, what's your name? He's like, that.
He had the SpongeBob moment where the filing cabinets were opening and he couldn't remember his name.
He was like too drunk at like 3 p.m. Like,
yeah, he was. He was just like in that moment. He was just Control Alt Delete rebooting in that moment there.
Now these guys had the best hair in the city.
Yeah, can we go? Yeah,
he did love that inner excellence though. We have it right here on the table.
Yeah,
did he at least laugh?
So that's what it looked like before.
Please tell me he at least laughed at this.
Oh yeah, he thought it was great. This is what it looks like now. He beat the fuck out of it that night.
He kept
Just,
spiking it like a ball in the end zone all night. I'm like, what are you doing?
This book looks like it went through a celebration of the Eagles. It looks exactly what I would expect it to. And it's actually winter excellence.
Now these guys have the best
not.
hair in the city. This is.
Hey, no, I'm sorry. You guys cut your hair yourself?
Yeah, these guys have
best
Patrick
mullets.
Mahomes and go. What do you have to say to them?
He sucks.
Come on.
What do you want to say to Taylor Swift, bro?
This
Taylor
guy's
Swift?
losing his mind.
They not shit. First down one. We on that.
Bro, take a breath.
I don't want to take a breath because
Taylor Swift.
Hey, yo. When you're a black queen in the city. Fuck all that.
Use your phone.
Hell yeah.
This time in the whole world and all the dimensions.
Yeah, then there was this guy.
Is that like a Ireland? Mexican
No, it's
Day of the Dead?
he's Mexico. I think he said his last name is Rodriguez.
Well, why is it got?
I really wasn't paying attention.
Why is that Ireland? Colors?
Couldn't tell you. Yeah, they raided this laundry.
Now we
bins
have
and
footage.
then-
You have to find it. There were multiple homeless people. Like they upgraded their wardrobes from this shit. And they were walking around the city with it. It looked like a secret society.
Didn't it get set on fire too?
Some people lit it on fire. I mean, what are you gonna do?
And when it comes down to it, listen, I look at myself as the best interviewer in the city. I know other people do it, but they don't get the content that I get. And people,
I agree.
And you have fucking douchebags like Kyle Pagan who like work for Crossing Broad, and he wants to come out and say he's the best. And then you have the kid from Barstool who also sucked. I mean, I think I blew them out of the water.
I don't need to start hate against anyone that isn't Kyle Pagan, our enemy, along with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I never had beef with the guy, but the guy doesn't like me, so.
Hey, I went down to the debate and I was dressed as George Washington. I'm a walking shit post, a walking meme. It would be very funny. And he wanted to interview me, and then we're like, oh yeah, we're filming stuff too. He's like, what? You're filming stuff? Then get out. Meanwhile, all his minions are trying to hook me up with microphones. It's like, I just sit here, and well, he's telling me to leave, and like no one, like it was very awkward. You just made something weird. Like
Well, rather than
a guy's dressed as George Washington, it's gonna be funny anyway, especially when I'm like.
He's about as funny as a heart attack. So
rather than giving him more airtime, let's talk about the guys, the other Philly influencers. We're really mad. The other Philly influencers we do like, Malik Joe was in your post today. Let's talk about that.
Should we talk about that, or should we hate?
Why not?
Nah.
You don't like Malik Joe? Throw Malik.
Love Malik. Malik's the best. Malik's one of the guys who is.
We saw him popping champagne on Broad Street in that
correct.
video. That was great.
Yeah, and Ange is good too. They're both good. They're both from Club 215. They're good people.
Maybe Kyle Pagan will be.
They were running the 215 guys are running the Jason Kelsey lookalike contest. I think I saw her out there.
Were they Club 215?
I think so. Yeah,
might have been.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah, no, Club 215. Shout outs to them. They're good people. Yeah, no, Malik's the man.
Someone should make like.
I wish nothing but the best always for Malik. I think Malik's super funny. I think Malik's super talented. Anytime I've ever asked him really to collab with anything, he's always done it. So
Malik's the man. I've met him a couple times. He's a nice guy, and he appreciates the content.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Malik's great, man. Yeah, we've done skits together and stuff. Malik's always good. I don't know if you've ever seen our skits.
I like the
together,
one where you're
but
in
Malik's
the
fun.
car in the potholes and you
yeah,
get the
I mean,
clothes
we
rearranged and they change seats after you hit a pothole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good. I was the cop. I did the cop the one time with him. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Do we have it on the Instagram?
Yeah, we can probably get it for you.
Yeah, let's do an airdrop there.
I'll do, or I could just send it to you through Instagram.
Yeah. Send it to the Slightly Relatable Instagram because I'm logged into it here.
I forgot you're logged into the Slightly Relatable. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff, cuz.
We got 5 requests. What's going on there?
Yeah.
What do we got? 5 requests? See, that's why we'll have Joe. Joe will pay attention to that.
Live
stuff.
hypersexual.
Excuse me?
Live video hypersexual. I wonder what that's about.
Oh, good.
It's probably bullshit.
It's probably important. There's hot singles in my area. They're gonna reach out to me.
Hold on, let me see what I got with Malik.
Any day now. Shout out again for the Eagles. That everyone can even win. Even the incels sitting at home when they normally have Valentine's Day to seethe and get angry. You could just join the parade and get hit in the face with a cheesesteak by us instead.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this this parade happening tomorrow, which we're recording here on Thursday. Friday is Friday is Valentine's Day, which is perfect for the Eagles parade because nobody loves anything more in Philadelphia than the Philadelphia Eagles.
Exactly. They're our true love.
Yeah.
All you bitches can wait.
Everyone's best day in their life.
Just send it to the
Everyone's best days in their life are Eagles Super Bowl championships, and I mean,
can we put the sound up?
Top 3, not 3. Yeah, we can put it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
you got to hear the sound.
We're gonna get copyright stricken by the
Well, it's
owner.
ours, so we're allowed to listen to the audio here.
Who's going to copyright us?
Yourself.
What the hell? If you send me
you got to
the
hit the
video,
sound. You got to hit the sound thing in the corner.
Instagram is so stupid.
Let me drop.
Hang on.
You gotta. Is this how it ends?
I don't know. I don't know. You stole the shit post that you made about the Sixers guy.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty fucking
Here's how
great.
it starts.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
Man, you draw, you keep getting on the potholes, man. Let me
And
drop.
then
Let me drop.
he's driving and we switch seats.
It's like that Jason Bourne quick cut. You can get away with murder with that shit.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
Great guy. Unlike our nemesis.
Yeah, no, he's Malik's
the man.
great, man. Malik's great. Always loved Malik. Malik's like one of the creators I really do root for in this city.
Yeah,
Always.
and he makes awesome content.
He's
the Boom
hilarious.
Dickhead just by itself.
The Dickhead has become his
it's
thing.
whole brand,
Anytime I hear
still.
Dickhead, I think Malik.
Yeah.
He's always.
It's like made it into Philly lexicon, just like regularly talking
Dickhead.
about anything.
All right, what are we gonna
but
get?
Boom Dickhead specifically even gets into.
What
Philly
do we get? What
lexicon.
forced meme are we gonna get into the Philly lexicon?
Can't be something that's too highbrow because I know you're gonna come with some SAT words and.
We gotta. How dumb are people?
I'll come up with it.
Boom Dickhead is pretty lowbrow for Philly to attach to.
Oh my god! At the Klondike Derby, the one time, I still laugh at this joke. I think it's genius. The one guy's like, "I went to a community college of Philadelphia, KKF."
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't know if that one's gonna get in though, Ken.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we're not going to use that one. I don't know if that one's going to make the cut, but nonetheless, I will have to think of something. But,
Yeah, we'll get something.
But that's
we need a-
I don't have a whole lot more. I feel like we're kind of just rambling on at this point, but
rambling, but
nonetheless, I mean, Eagles won the
important
Super
thing,
Bowl.
go Birds. We won. Not only did we win, I thought we would just streak one in. Like, the pessimism runs deep in our blood. We've been betrayed before, but we didn't just beat them at home. We beat the shit out of them. We didn't just stop 1 3-peat. We stopped 2 3-peats. We beat one GOAT. We beat the guy they were saying the GOAT until we beat him so bad that they're not even saying he's the GOAT anymore. We won so bad we took someone, we ruined their legacy. This is it's just total destruction, and we're in good place to just keep riding this shit out. Hurts isn't going anywhere. All our best guys are locked up. Howie is a genius at acquiring and drafting. We're gonna get Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons next year, and we're gonna run it back, and they're gonna score 3 touchdowns on us all year.
Run it back. We're starting our own 3-peat.
You never know when this is going to happen again. So for all the Philadelphia people out there, enjoy it. Enjoy it. You have the mic'd up version to watch now. You have the highlights to watch. You sit back. We have 2 rings now. Just enjoy it. Take it in. And just enjoy it, because you never know when this shit's going to happen again. It feels like it should happen for the next 3 years. 3 or 4 years, 5. You feel like this team's good enough to always get back.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Well, yeah, we thought with Chase Utley that we'd be going back. That team only
We
won
got
one.
back. We just didn't win it.
Selleck had an interesting quote that was brought up. I forget who it was that was talking about it.
Where he thought he was going to keep getting back after the
in his rookie season, they go to the NFC title game, and he thinks in that moment we'll be back here, and they didn't go back for 9 years.
Yeah. So you never know. So it's enjoy it. In my heart, yes, I do think the Eagles will be back.
Yeah.
Or
But anything can happen. Injuries,
the way it's
all sorts of fucked up
the
shit.
way the
think
roster
they
is
have-
constructed, the way that the contracts are lined up for these next 3 years specifically.
how focused Jalen is.
Yeah,
I can't.
he's
see
like
them not
he's like
getting back.
football's Kawhi with less injury problems.
Yeah, I think he's as
a robot.
determined as Brady was in those years. Like he's so used to the disrespect. He just wants to keep proving people
Well, you were
wrong.
saying with the Cowboys guy.
Aikman.
I feel like Hurts could be like the new Aikman. He just like wins a shitload.
Yeah, like he's never looked at as like the best quarterback in the league, but he's one of the better quarterbacks that just wins.
Yeah.
Like even like a Terry Bradshaw, like he just like
Aikman got how many?
Aikman had 3, Bradshaw had 4, but Bradshaw was never considered. People never really looked at Bradshaw as the best quarterback in the league.
I don't think anybody in Philadelphia cares about what
No,
Jalen
no, they
Hurts
don't.
is
No,
gonna
we
be
care about
thought
winning,
about.
and I will take. You're
Yeah.
going to tell me I'll take a Terry Bradshaw all day. Give me 4 fucking Super Bowls with the guy. That puts us at 5. We're right there with Dallas.
Coy
Those
Detmer
fucking
could be
losers.
our quarterback as long as we're winning the Super Bowl. I don't care who does it.
We could have. No. No.
Kanye West under center.
Yeah. No. Listen, I don't care. Winning's winning, and at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I think.
Kanye West will be committing a personal foul on Edelman for some strange reason. We don't know why.
Oops.
Everybody, thank you for watching.
One final thought. We've had a lot of wholesome. You never know we're going to go back. I figured I should end on a hate note. Attention, my nemesis, who I've hated more than anyone, the New York Giants. How does it feel? You fail forever. You have 2 fluke Super Bowls that you don't even deserve. You have a quarterback that you are going to try and force into the Hall of Fame that whenever he was on the sideline, it looked like he had Down syndrome.
They're trying to get Matt Stafford now, though.
They're trying to get Stafford. You had a GOAT player. You ruined his career. Then he comes over here. We obliterate you. My entire life, we have been nothing but bitch slapping you. You have no hope. You have no future. We're like the barbarians at the gates, destroying everything that you hold dear, everything that you love. Instead of, you have... Your city has way more people. The GDP, it doesn't matter, dickhead. A bunch of Delco retards are just going to go Birds, and then you're just going to suck forever and ever and ever. I hope you never win again. I hope the 49ers make the Super Bowl every year. We don't make it and then lose. I hope all you pieces of shit teams die and suffer. But
In my time, we're tied with the Giants for most Super Bowls in the division because I never saw this fucking loser Cowboys team.
Sure didn't.
win.
You
So
remember
I don't
them, though.
give a fuck. I remember their whole roster.
yeah,
but I
hey,
don't give a
Cowboys
fuck.
fans, get your
I
VCRs
don't
out
give
to
a
watch
fuck.
the highlights. We can watch
I
it on
never
YouTube.
saw it, so those championships don't matter. They don't count to me because I never saw you fucking losers win.
Yeah, I don't have to get out a VCR player to watch.
Yeah,
to watch
exactly.
My Super
The
Bowl.
shit's probably in black and white.
Long live Jerry Jones. I hope he lives to be 120, and then his son will take over and follow where his old man left off. And yeah, fuck all of our division rivals. The Washington looks a little bit scary, but we'll kill him too. We'll get.
They don't look. I mean, they look.
We'll get Hurts in
scarier than me,
VR
but I still
too.
think
We'll
the
have
Eagles are
Hurts
a way
in there.
better roster.
Yeah.
The Lions are the team I look out for.
Lions when they're healthy. Yeah.
They lost all their coordinators. They're done.
We saw how
We'll
that
see.
went for us.
Yeah,
We
we
saw
need
how
an
that went for
offensive
us.
coordinator.
Jared Goff.
Anyone wants to apply? We need someone good. We don't want to go backwards again.
All right, rambling on. Slightly relatable, guys. Find us, Joe. Thank you. As
Yeah,
always.
thanks. One last thought before we go.
Go ahead.
I want to let you guys go because this is your guys' podcast. I'm here producing. I'm
No,
happy,
you can-
I'm
you
happy
can
to
end it out.
participate. But just on this last note, when I got that call from you guys about Phillips cheesesteaks, we'll go back to them real quick. Phillips cheesesteaks, I was happy on the call. I hung up and I'm sitting back. I'm talking with my trainer at the gym like an hour later. I'm like, man, you really got to think about, I sat back and thought about every single thing in human history that had to happen leading to me standing on top of a food truck hucking cheesesteaks at Philadelphia Eagles fans during an Eagles Super Bowl. Think about it from cavemen to that. All of the things that had to happen. All the things that had to happen for that to be a possibility.
I'm
just thankful.
Probably helped that you met me.
We don't
Well, that's
win.
through Ken.
We don't win the Super Bowl, and we don't deliver these cheesesteaks to the hungry fans if it wasn't for Napoleon's stunning victory against the Austrian forces at the Battle of Austerlitz,
Just
when
true.
he uses his infantry and he deploys his cannons. It was unthinkable. There would probably be a Dallas dynasty if he lost that battle. The Holy Roman Empire.
But seriously,
was,
literally from cavemen inventing fire, that had to happen.
Yeah. From the
up,
Nina,
up
the Penta,
to the
Santa
Eagles
Maria
winning
coming
the
across
Super Bowl on Sunday. Everything in the middle had to happen that way.
Don't go too far down that rabbit hole, though. You'll start coming away with there's no free will, that we live under necessitism. There's only one future, one past.
If that's the truth, and it leads to me throwing cheesesteaks at Eagles fans at a Super Bowl parade, I'm happy with it.
We got to get a picture up there.
Yeah, well, more than a
we gotta
picture.
get
The whole
video.
thing better be documented.
Yeah.
we gotta get everything.
Yeah, maybe we should hire a cameraman.
Should. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should do
Anyone
that.
available?
There's 100% people will be available.
Yeah.
We could just Venmo people within throwing distance.
I could probably put it out on Instagram tonight and be like, anybody want to come film? They'd probably say yes.
Yeah. I can get somebody to do it if you let them get up there for a couple minutes to throw some.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They
I
said
got
bring as
I
many
got
people-
somebody.
They said
Yeah.
bring as many people as you want. They camera
We got
guy?
it. We got it. Yeah, they're not camera guys, but they got iPhones.
Okay.
You know?
All right, well, that works.
We're good. All right. Well, that was slightly relatable. Just a few schizophrenic ramblings, but mostly unadulterated joy over our Philadelphia Eagles winning despite all the haters. So eat shit, Patrick Mahomes. You're not a goat. You're not even number 2. Jalen Hurts is number 1 in our hearts, and Nick Foles is number 1 in our dicks. So signing off. Adios.
Go Birds.
See ya.